guy that started all this. I was Joe's workout partner for 25 years. He gave me an entire gym. We worked out in the gym for a while, but he had a whole gym behind his house, and that's where we mainly worked out. And as you know, Joe had a lot of back problems, so my job was to keep his body moving. Joe's motto, always, and I heard this a million times like Lou did, you know, I mean, he's literally like our father, you know? And there's no bullshit with Joe. You know, he would tell you what he thought you could do, then it was up to you to do it. And Joe's motto was, when the going gets tough, you get tougher, no matter what, only those who quit lose. Only those who quit lose. And when I talk to young people that, you know, are interested in exercise, I'm a chiropractor, I'm a sports scientist. So bottom line is we get a lot of Olympic hopefuls coming in, wanting to be Olympic athletes, and they want to know what's the quick road. And I said, wrong question. The question you should be asking is, how do I get to the road? And which road to take? And that would be Joe's response. Joe would give us the tools. He'd give us the ideas, give us the tools, and we had to pick the tools up and you know, dig the ground, put the seed in, grow the tree, and he said, you'll get the fruit from the tree. So that's really the message. You know, 65 years ago, Joe made 10 predictions. Do you know that every one of those 10 predictions have come true today? And about a month ago, I had attended a symposium at UCLA on exercise and cognition, cognitive thinking, right? 4.5 symposium. And this research symposium basically proved every single thing Joe had said came true. That exercise is good for your mind, exercise is good for dementia, exercise is good for your heart, circulation, things we all know because we do it every day. But the general public doesn't. But now that a scientific congress happened, and they've proven it, now it's in mainstream. So in reality, I encourage all of you to do and follow Joe's rule. You know, that when it gets tough, keep pushing. Learn from the experience, never quit, and pass the word on.
Lenda.
Just to give you a little background, I started out 4.5 years ago at 206 pounds. And back to what you were speaking about in genetics, a lot of people ask me, why do I compete in women's physique? My calves will never be that small. It's just never going to happen. And as I was prepping for this show, I went down to Venice to train because, you know, you start training in the same gym, you kind of get stagnant, your brain kind of goes dead. I needed to refigure out why I was doing what I was doing. So I went down there, and as I was on the hack machine, working legs, you know, I was looking up at your photo. And I've kind of aimlessly gone through my fitness career, just kind of, first I wanted to lose 20 pounds, I wanted to get in shape, I wanted to be healthy for my kids, and then I discovered lifting, and then I realized that I'm passionate about it, but I really wasn't sure what I wanted to be when I grew up. And as I looked up on the wall and I saw your photo, I realized that that was the physique that I was after, and that's the physique that I'm aiming for this season. And I want you to know that it means the world to me to have you here, and it made all the difference for me, and it cleared my head and really let me focus on this show. So I appreciate all that you've all done. I mean, all of you, I've grown up watching all of you, and not necessarily into fitness, just active all my life, but now this is definitely my passion, and this is where my boys are following me now. And, you know, I have a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old, and they follow me into the gym, and everybody wants to deadlift more than mommy, and they can do that, and I'll be happy.
You know, something interesting, I don't know if you all know that I would say probably some of us, but not all of us, like myself, growing up as a kid, I've had a very difficult relationship with my father. Most of my life I have a lot of anger issues. It's interesting because a lot of bodybuilders build their physique and their body standing up and say, I'm powerful, nobody can abuse me or bully me anymore. So it's funny that how I got involved in bodybuilding because I had an abusive father. But you can't change your parents. I was able to change my life. And that's why, like, you know, I know I tell the others looking at me, but the truth is that this is my defense shield to survive. Because other people that have ridicule, abuse, being bullied, they resort to drugs, alcohol, and depression. But I've taken the positive road. But you take the majority of bodybuilders, they've had bad relationship with their father. And you know, all of us in the sport, like I'm talking about all bodybuilders, sometimes you have an inferiority complex. But you compensate for that by bodybuilding It changed my life and my path to survive. That goes for all of us, most people, because sometimes you have insecurities, you have fears. You minimize that from training, respecting yourself, your mind, your body. That affects everything you do in life. Like for example, that's what Dr. Perry was saying, like Joe Weider had that motto. Every time I was with Joe, it was never like enough, good enough. One time I was in the gym, I was benching like at the time 460. Joe looked at me, he goes, "When are you gonna bench 500? Are you out of your mind? Don't talk to me like that. You're a little Ferrigno, come on, you could do 500. Well, eventually I benched 500, but Joe always wanted to bet. He taught me, and in life, everything I do is 110%. Every time you have a goal, you achieve something, you want to walk away and say, I gave 110%. Like he said, Joe said, if you'll follow the model, you quit, you can't blame others. Most of us people that insecure, they transfer their anger on other people. Because they deny or they can't accept it themselves. That's why all of us here were champions, because nothing stood in the way, and we decided we wanted to go after, even though you have all this competition and ridicule. Like when I was a kid, they said, how are you going to make a living out of bodybuilding? My uncle used to say, oh, you're working out, what are you going to do with his life? I just loved it, it was my passion. Look what it's taken me today. Look what it's taken all of us. That's the beauty about today, because that's why I'm happy about this legacy, this competition, because everyone out there can better their life. I have to remind people, because that's all what we have, and make the best out of it.
I want to say something really quick. I came in right around after Louis, because I met Lou in 1974 in Verona. When I saw him, honestly, I thought I was looking at like Sears Tower. Like, he was just amazing, really ripped, tiny waist. I mean, really, he left a huge impression on me. I mean, like the same thing. Lou was so motivated by Jim Morris, by Ed Corney. You know, I was very heavily inspired by Arnold, Frank Zane, buying the magazine back overseas. And so, you know, you like it. For me, it becomes like a way of life. Right around the time I was just fading from competition, here comes Flex Wheeler, Shawn Ray. I mean, these guys were amazing. And honestly, I think both should have bagged Olympia. And, you know, should have been among their titles. I'm not just saying that. They know that. But, you know, it's just the thing is looking at him right now. Look at Shawn Ray, he's always funny, but you know, still look good. I picture his waist at Samir, it's over. I said, come on, it's not over, Shawn. Look at it, it looks great. So it's just an honor. Yesterday, I saw Ed Corney, and I was talking to Ed. I said, Ed, we're talking about posing, about the passion and all that. Ed, get into it. I mean, these guys did it from the heart. You know, I say, you know, let me tell you something. One time, Mike Menser, rest in peace, he said to me, he said, if there's one person loved bodybuilding more than me, it would be you and Lou Ferrigno. Like, the truth is, Ferrigno loved this game. So it's wonderful. It's 10 plus having Lou Ferrigno involved in this, because he loved this game. He had the passion for it. And I really admire Lou. Still, I look at Lou now, we're buddies, but I look at him, immediately rewind, replay in my brain in Verona, Italy. I'm looking at him backstage. In fact, I have a picture, and I'm gonna publish this picture. I look like a real pencil neck next to him. Like a little picture, like Tattoo from Fantasy Island. So, it was just, you know how. We have to say, man, it's just wonderful having this team here. Seriously, all these people from left to right. Shawn, Lenda, everybody, they're all for real. And so Lou knows what he wants. So we love Lou. Thank you for the great job. We'll always have your back, and I think you're going to go all the way. Right?
You know, they talk about, well, I'm the oldest one up here, if you haven't guessed by now, and looking up to me. But I was looking back at all the times that they were looking up at me, and I remember one day in the gym, Lou was doing front squats, and for some reason, you know, you get in the habit of counting reps, and
yours and everybody's in the gym. And for some reason, I counted 11 reps, and he stopped, and I counted the next set, and he did 11 reps again. Finally, I couldn't stand it anymore. I said, Lou, why 11? It's such an odd number. 8, 10 maybe, but why 11? He said, because my competitors are doing 10.
Yes, my name's Ryan Shepard, and as somebody coming up, I kind of, you look at a magazine and you look at body parts to emulate, and one was Lenda Murray was her shoulders, and I'd be like, man, if I could get Lenda Murray's shoulders, so what was like her secret? I'd look and see what she would do, and if I remember it's correct that she would do like wide grip, wide upright rows. And kind of like the same, but what he would say, instead of doing, like Shawn would say too, instead of doing 5 sets, she'd do 6 with more reps. And then Flex Witter would do up and down the racks kind of a thing. So my question is kind of for each of you down the panel, what would be a secret or a tip or exercise that you could give for shoulder development? Like your favorite exercise or tweak or secret? Yeah, for delts, you know what I mean? Everybody, like Shawn, what would it be like his?
Well, I learned early on that there are no secrets. I mean, you either put in the work or you don't. You reap what you sow. What separates me from a lot of people out there lifting weights is that I wanted to be the best. And, well, Lenda talked a lot about genetics, and it's coming from the genetic queen. Genetics will take you so far, but your mind is what's going to take you to the highest place that you can go. Because there's going to be a lot of people that tell you you can't do it. You're going to see somebody doing this exercise, and you think in your mind, I need to do that because her shoulders look like this. And, her shoulders were probably fully developed by the time she picked up a dumbbell or probably looked at one and they grew. Some people are predisposed to have that advantage, especially with calves. I mean, the black guys always make notes of calves. We all have poor calves. So we see one with good calves like Chris Dickerson. Like, what is he doing? And he's doing the same thing we're doing. Seated calves, donkey calves, standing calves, and there's no real secret, but where your mind takes you is to the next place. That's why when Lou said, like, I'm doing 11, he's doing one more, well, that is putting money in the bank. That one more rep starts to add up over the months and the years of training. And you can increase a weak body part by doing just that one extra rep. So, you notice Lou never says 100%. It's always 110%, and that does carry over into everything outside the gym. The discipline on the diet, the fortitude to go back to the gym when you don't want to go for round 2, to do things, to not do things that everyone else is doing. There's a lot of discipline that takes place. So the mind is really the strongest muscle. The weights and the tools are out there. It's how you use them and where your mind takes you. So for me, I set myself apart by always being consistently mindful that I wanted to be the best. I never said I was going to be the biggest or the strongest. I couldn't really compare myself with the competition. But I knew there was a Muhammad McAway out there. I knew there was a Samir Bannout before me. I knew Frank Zane was out there doing it. It was possible. Franco Columbo was doing it. I mean, he should be in the Kentucky Derby. Tiny. So I had examples that were doing things that I thought I could do because they were my size. The only thing I could really control was what am I going to do with it. So I did the best I could, and I always did a little bit more. I trained with a little bit more volume. 11 reps for me is low. I did like 15 to 20. It worked for me. Lou, 11 is his number. It seemingly worked for him. We all have different styles. I thought it'd be fun and interesting to train with Flex, but man, it was like pulling teeth training with Flex. Because I was the Energizer Bunny, and he needed more rest and recovery in between in between sets. It worked for him. We trained with 4 or 5 guys. I can only train with 1. So the styles were night and day, but there we were, trading places, beating each other throughout our career, raising the bar for each other. And all of us are very different. But when you set your mind to it, if you have that weak body part, you can change that body part by doing more. Not necessarily, there's no one exercise. She's doing standing dumbbell laterals the same way that I am. And my shoulders would, first of all, I wouldn't look at a girl and say, I want her shoulders. But that's good. Men's physique? Men's physique? Yeah, well, men's physique is still new. I'm getting used to it. Luke calls it men's bikini, but it's because he couldn't do men's physique. He's too big for that. But it really is a mindset for me. That's what separates my exercises, my training, and my philosophy, is that I always thought I could be the best Shawn Ray. And I'll just see where that would take me. It took me a lot of places.